Hey, Wayne here, and I am about 5 months in on this Varla Falcon electric scooter. Oh, I knew it was going to happen eventually. This has been a really good scooter to go to for riding around the neighborhood. I also use it a lot just for checking the mail on those super hot days that we get out here. Going for the mail, going for the mail. Yeah, on days that are like 105, 110, I don't feel like walking down half a block to get the mail. Might sound a bit lazy, but it's hot. So I put a bag on the scooter and I just ride down to the mailbox and I pull the mail out and take it back home. And that's how we get the mail on our Varla scooter. This is a good casual electric scooter for riding around the neighborhood. It's a budget scooter, so it's not real expensive, but it does have some nice things going for it, like the lights on the side of the scooter. That's really cool. People can see you from the side. Has a light in the back. That's also pretty cool. For brakes, it has rear disc brakes, and I believe it has some front electronic braking going on. I recently took the scooter and put it on a little lift that I have, and I spun the brakes around, and yeah, so the rear brakes, like I said, are disc brakes, and the front brakes, when I squeeze the brake lever and I try to turn the front wheel, it doesn't want to spin, so I know there's some electronic braking going on. So Varla's site says that this Falcon will get a 25-mile range on a full charge. I checked that out, and for me, I pushed it. I left it on the sport mode, which is the third mode up for power. I got 17 miles out, and that was just constantly riding it on a full charge on mode 3. Now, if you switch it down to mode 1 or 2, especially 1 only goes about 8 miles an hour, you might get that 25-mile range. And that also will depend on payload, weight. So, but yeah, it gets pretty good mileage, and charges pretty quick. Just in about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, I think it was, I got a full charge again on it. So it's not bad. So it does hit what they claim of 22 miles per hour, and I haven't had any issues hitting that. Although I average probably more like 20, 21, I do hit 22 from time to time. So while I was testing it, I wanted to see if it would slow down as the battery was draining. And according to the site, it says that it's a 500-watt hub motor with a peak power of 700 watts and a 25-amp speed controller, which maintains optimal performance at all times. Now, that seems to be true, because all the way up until just before it died, I was getting full speed out of it, and it was around the last mile or so, I think that's when it finally slowed down to the point that I was walking it. Oh, again, when it comes to speed and this budget-friendly scooter, it hits 22 miles an hour, but most e-bikes, class 2, which is the legal speed for most areas, they only hit 20 miles an hour. So this is going to be faster than most of your class 2 e-bikes. That's another plus for a budget-friendly scooter. Couple things that I would have liked, but I got to keep in mind this is a budget scooter. I would have liked a front and rear separate brakes on here, because I do like to level that off a little bit more when I'm braking from from a fast speed. Also, it is a front wheel motor, so here, I'll see if I can show you. You can go kind of slow, and then right there, you just throttle all the way down, and that front wheel, it will peel out a bit. And you definitely want to be very careful in water. I took a turn in water not too long ago, and didn't fall or anything, but I could feel it slide just a little bit. It is a push to start, so you need to push off to get it going. Can't just take off from a dead stop. I would have rather just be able to take off from a dead stop. So as far as one last thing that I'm not super crazy about, that would be how you change modes on here. You got to take a hand off, which I wouldn't recommend doing. It'd be better if you just stop and do it. But I'll show you real quick. You got to take your hand off, which can create wobble, and you could lose control of the scooter. But what you have to do is you have to press the power button twice. So now I just went from mode 2 to sport mode. These dual shocks work really good, makes a nice comfortable ride, so that's pretty cool. Another thing I really do like about this scooter is that the handlebar, the board is long, and it doesn't feel like you're standing over the handlebars like you are on some of the cheaper, lower budget scooters. This one is comfortable. It's got plenty of space here on the board. It's got this back piece here for you to rest your foot on. They did a good job with this. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it's all that much of a budget scooter. It feels like a good quality scooter. This will be a great scooter for your first. Even if you already have some more powerful scooters, this is a good one for just riding around casually in the neighborhood and getting you from A to Z. Also, probably good if you're just commuting on it short distances. So I think this would be pretty good for most people. The maximum payload weight is 265 pounds. When considering that 265 pounds, you may want to consider that if you're wearing a backpack, that's adding to your weight. So keep that in mind when you go riding. So I've had other scooters that are single motor, one brake, and budget friendly, but they felt like it. They felt cheap. They didn't have any power at all. This one, hitting 22 miles an hour, that's plenty. So if you go back and see some of my older reviews, I enjoyed them. They were my first scooters. They were by a company called Gen 3. Now, they have since gone out of business. Varla is a big name. You can count on them to be around for a long time. So that's another plus when purchasing something like this. You don't want a company that's here today, gone tomorrow. You can count on Varla. Quality parts. For me, I've had to use support once. I had to order a spring from them on one of my more powerful scooters, and they sent it out to me. They got that taken care of pretty quick. Now, is this my favorite scooter? No, it's not my favorite scooter. I like it a lot. It's a keeper, but I do prefer the more powerful Eagle One Pro. Not doing that one. That is a fun, powerful scooter that you can somewhat take off-road. I have a video of that also. I'll put a link down below to that one. That is a really cool scooter. I do ride this more than that one though. So, it's not because this one I prefer over that one. It's just that this one is just easier to grab and take off with, and not worry about too much. So it's just for good casual riding. Now when I want to go faster, maybe go off road a little bit, then the Eagle One Pro is a must. Now again, if you're riding with friends and they're all on budget friendly scooters, this one will probably be one of the faster of the bunch. But if you're on something more like the Eagle One Pro, they won't be able to keep up with you. Now, if you're riding with a lot of buddies that are on powerful scooters, you're definitely going to want to grab something like the Eagle One Pro. So yeah, these scooters, depends who you're riding with, how you're riding, where you're riding. For everyday use though, and commuting, this is a great scooter to get. I think that could be a little safer if it had controls by the throttle for it. I'm going to have links down below if you're interested in picking one of these up. Get out there and ride, and I'll see you on the next one.